Okay, let's see. Oh, I watched the tag match. It was really good. Oh.
Let me tell you about a very special place. It's called the Imagisphere, and it's made up of all the creative thoughts and ideas anyone has ever had. Yes, that's right, even yours. And they all come together to make a planet we call Craft World. Oh, it's such a peaceful and friendly place. Our story starts in the village of Loom, home to the Sack folk, Craft World's
the what?
gentlest, most enterprising creatures. Home,
The Sack.
in fact, to the
Oh,
one
she said
they
Sack.
call Sackboy. And he's about to have a very strange day.
Oh, I do love a warm welcome. That look of pure terror.
Hi, Keen. Thank you so much for 5 months.
Oh, it gives me a
The wigs.
tingly feeling.
Thank you also, Marshall, for
Don't tell me you don't
resubscribing.
recognize your old pal Vex. You know, bringer of nightmares, master of the uproar. Life of the party. I'm here with a very exciting opportunity. No, really, you're gonna love it. I call it the Topsy-Turver. It's going to bring fun, excitement, terror, all the good stuff.
I'll show you a topsy
I
turner.
already have the plans. I'm just missing some materials and the jolly volunteers who can put it together. So what do you say? Ready to make history? Of course you are.
You just killed my friends.
Well, you're just adorable. That's why I saved you for last. The uproar is coming. You can't stop it. Craft World will be mine!
He's so inky. This is just Little Guy the game. Little Guy the video game. Which I'm not mad at. You guys remember that era of gaming where everything had a quick time? That was ridiculous. Like every single cutscene, every single video game was like, oh my god, quick times. It was so exhausting. And they would like force the quick times on you. I was like, please stop this madness. Sorry. The little walk made me giggle. Let me turn it up a little. He's just a little guy. Oh. 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 This is still too loud. Excuse me, I would like the volume to be a good volume and not very loud. I would appreciate it. SFX need to be lower because SFX are always... Okay. Does the Jamie Lee Curtis pose? Okay. Hi, Passions. Oh. That was very loud. It's never a quiet moment, I guess. It's fine. We work. What was that? Anyways. He's just a little guy. I do miss Little Big Planet. I wonder why they stopped making them. Maybe it was like a copyright thing. I don't know. Okay. The music's cute. I'm enjoying my stay so far, even though it's been like, what, 2 minutes? You can zoom in. I smile. Oh, I can wave! Hi, chat. That's so cute. Oh! I run. I'm in. Oh yeah, some of the levels get hard. I remember I played it on online and the online was terrible with Little Big Planet, like terrible. It made the game like unbearable, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Oh, that's a checkpoint. I was like, why does it keep like feel like an enemy's gonna spawn out of there? But it's a checkpoint. Can I do a little spinneroony? Oh, we smack. Parkour master right here. I'm trying to like run, but it's not the right. I like that this tutorial level isn't obnoxious. I hate when you do a game in the tutorial there's like 500 texts to like force you into the tutorial. I'm like, enough. Wake up. Oh, I think I have to. Oh. I don't know what that did, but I did something, I guess. Okay, we go. Hi, Arctic. Oh, it just shit me out. So real. Oh, please don't hurt me. Oh. Smack. Thank you for 2 gold doubloons. Shh. Okay. Like a bubble bath. What's happening down there? Oh, hi Lucy. Oh, we have to put the seed. We gotta plant the seed, if you know what I'm saying, baby. Oh, I lost my seed. Well, damn. There's something down there, please. Okay, well, it's not worth my time. The smack. Hey. Smack. I love the little guy. Sackboy is so cute. They definitely have Sackboy plushies. I would definitely get one. Thank you, Lucy. I appreciate it. I got into makeup pretty fast. I just really wanted to hang out, so I know it's pretty late, but please, honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like if you did like you know what they do like with the club kid looks when they do like the full bodysuit and like the only the eyes and face and the mouth are cut out. That would be fun. That'd be really cute. Oh. Well, what is this thing? Oh. Oh, I did it. We've done it now. Oh, eat. I don't think there's a run button. Probably we learn it, but... Oh. What's the grab button? Oh. We can definitely grab onto this. Yes! I knew we could. I knew it. Whee! So fun. Die. Sackboy's always so happy. God, I wish I was him. So gender, actually. Just a little guy on a little adventure. Oh, we run. We move. I know, I'm loving it. It's keeping the vibes up. We love to see it.
You know what that is, don't you?
Hello, Grandma.
It's a dreamer orb, jam-packed with pure creative energy straight from the
Oh, she got a lash on. You see that?
But you'll need more of them if you're going to make it up there. You are here to stop Vex, aren't you? Yes, yes, yes. But first, you need to know about the dark, foul energy of nightmares we call the Uproar.
Gasp.
Vex is planning to fill the whole of Craftworld with it. For now, he's using it to block the way to the top of the mountain so no one can interrupt him. Luckily, there is one thing that can counter that nasty stuff. And you're holding it. The energy of pure wonder and creativity inside it will dispel Vex's barriers wherever you find them. So, seek out these orbs. They are the key to your journey, the key to your destiny, the key to... well, you know, you get the idea. Next time we meet, I'll reveal great cosmic secrets. Maybe tell you a bit about myself, like my name, which is Scarlet, by the way, and more importantly, the truth about your very existence.
Oh, goodbye, Queen, I guess. Not her spilling the tea and she said, I'm out. Oh, oh, oh. Hit the O. Oh, and O. Oh, I do an 8 count? I do the drag queen 8 count. Oh, windmill. Oh. I have nothing to say, really. I'm just enjoying my time. I don't know what to say. I'm immersed. This is just... Excuse me. Sorry, I have no caffeine in my system. I literally slept all day. I woke up at maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, made some breakfast, ate my breakfast, and went back to sleep until 8 o'clock at night. And you know what? I don't care. Who cares? Time is just not even real anyways. Is this gonna be like a circus level? Oh, we're gonna get crazy here.
Hello, I am Zum Zum. You wish to change clothes? Buy fabulous new outfits? Huh? Ooh la la! You have come to the...
Oh, you're part of the
right place,
LGBT?
Spend collectibles to purchase stupendous styles.
It's definitely warmer,
Create
definitely.
incredible new looks
I
in
have
your
never
wardrobe,
remembered it
where you
being
will
that
find
cold
all
here
your
in
fantastical
years.
fashions.
Like, it was literally
Yeah.
40
And
miles per hour
collectibles
wind,
just for you.
negative
To spend
1
here
degrees
at
Fahrenheit.
Zum
Like, it was the coldest it's ever been. And like, some parts of my house aren't insulated, so like where I live in the basement, the basement, some of the windows aren't insulated and some of the windows aren't secure. So I had to cover up my windows with pillows and blankets so the cold air wouldn't get in. And on top of that, my mom's bedroom, because she's literally given up, because my mother is literally the nicest person in the world, she's given up her bedroom upstairs for the children that she decides to take care of. So she's moved her room to the back porch, and the back porch is not meant to be a bedroom. It's not insulated and does not have heat.
Ready to shop at Zoom Zooms? Huh?
Sorry, I'm telling a story about my beautiful mother. Can you fuck off? But yeah, so it was freezing yesterday. Like we all, like my mom, oh my god, the wig. My mom and I were like awake at 4 a.m, like shivering in the kitchen, like making food and then like hovering over the countertop for Abby from Last of Us? Oh my god, they have collab outfits. Oh, Clank. Oh my god, Ellie. Oh, Alloy.
Zooms. So much choice, so inexpensive, so buy something.
Oh, Fall Guys. Oh, this bee costume is so cute. Oh yes, this is drag. That one Evie Oddly runway on All Winners when she came out as a cake. Oh my god, this is Lost in Random! Guys, this is one of my favorite games I've ever played on the channel. I'm gagged.
Zoom Zooms is shopping in its purest form. You choose new outfit, give me collectibles.
Oh my god, it has the dice! Oh my god! My heart. My heart. That's like one of my favorite games we've ever played on the channel. Okay, not to be that girl, but like literally if you're like older than 20 and you like dinosaurs, can you grow the fuck up? Sorry, that was so nasty of me. I know Diabetes likes dinosaurs. I've never seen a fucking Jurassic Park movie either, so.
Hello, want to buy an outfit yet?
Oh my god, it's a pride outfit!
Ooh, la la.
Gay rights!
1 12 too many, I think.
If they're cool, why are they dead? Yeah, maybe just like skill issue. Clearly a skill issue. Like if dinosaurs are so cool, then maybe be better. Oh, a beat. What the heck are you talking about? I don't know. I just like to start controversy and drama in the chat and like to see the reactions. It's kind of funny.
The best stock of clothing in all of the Imagisphere. Also, the only stock in all of the Imagisphere.
Yeah, but how much are these outfits? Like, I want the Bumblebee outfit. Oh, I have it already? Oh, it probably goes off of, like, my Epic Games store. That's definitely it. Work.
If you want to be looking fantastically cool, stylish, and unique, then come to Zoom Zoom.
Oh, that was what we had. This is our inventory, bitch. Oh, we got outfits for days. Oh, we're stocked up, girl. Oh, that's a cute outfit. I like the little hat. Oh my god, how cute is that? Oh, that's gorgeous. The wig.
Zoom Zooms is shopping in its purest form. You choose new outfit, give...
I like the Bumblebee outfit, very cute. Hi, Necro. Also, Harley, thank you for 1 year. I appreciate you. How are you doing? It's crazy, it's already 1 year. I feel like the other day it was just like 6 months with your subscription. That's fucking crazy. Ice Age made them both cool and dead. That's real. That's real. Dinosaurs don't even have skin, they're just bones. Yeah. You ever see that movie, The Night at Museum? Did the dinosaurs do anything to make that movie cool? Absolutely not. I actually have no idea. I haven't seen that movie in like over a decade. I'm just like provoking the chat. The 3 dinosaur stands in my chat are just like, girl, if I want a dinosaur and I want it, okay. I tried making a joke. I was gonna say, if you guys like bones, if you guys like dinosaurs and you like them bones, then you can go install a little app and get some bones, if you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. The music? Okay, dances. Ow. Sorry, I thought my tits were out for a second. I got a new kitty. Oh, cute! I want a new cat so bad, but Monty would really claim his territory. Like, he would not be nice. This looks like foreskin. Okay, anyways, I didn't say that. Why would you guys say that? That's so inappropriate. I dance. Okay, twerks. There has to be a way to run, no? The music, like I am shaking my ass. That emo? Thank you. It's like a bodysuit, but I didn't want it to go up my cooch, so. What is that guy's name? Dexter? We move. Oh, a question mark. A few holes? That's just my chat room. Sorry. We move. Oh, I got a new unlockable face. Oh. I got hit. Why would you hurt me? That's so messed up. Oh, there was something right there. Fuck! Take me back. You're gonna be at WrestleMania, Lucy? Oh, wow. These emotes. I haven't seen the best emote on Twitch, which is the Nemi Lois emote. Where's that at? Oh, get gagged. Oh. I say that and get gagged myself. This makes me want to get a drink and like get on the dance floor. That was fun. I enjoyed my time. Yeah. He is so cute. Oh my god. I'll get it. It's a play on words, cold feet, like the expression cold feet, but then like okay. Anyways. Speaking of cold, I am hungry. Those do not equate to each other, but I just wanted to move on. Oh my god, it's already 11. Well, to be fair, I got up and done at 10 o'clock, so. I was gonna get ice cream. I would fuck up some ice cream, I'm gonna be honest with you. Excuse me, wait a second, hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Did I just see Burger King on here? Burger King hasn't been on Uber Eats in my town in like a decade. It is! Fuck you guys! There's 5 different Burger Kings. Oh, I hate y'all. So I keep doing this thing. I keep ordering food because I'm too lazy to get groceries, which I should probably do, but I'm just living life. Living like Larry. What is this? This like nun outfit? I can't. Can I order fries? Fight, thank you so much for the follow. When I order Burger King, that's all I order. I don't order anything else. I literally order like 4 large fries and that's it. And maybe like a Sprite. I don't care. Okay, actually, is there... Huh. There is no running. I do find that to be a little odd. When did Burger King have chicken tenders? Do you mean the nuggets? Now I want Burger King. I'm like, fuck. Oh wait, there's something up there. How was NXT? Really good. Like, this seems like really loud. I'm so sorry. The match, I'm happy that the crowd like showed out for NXT, which is exciting. Are they bad now? Oh yeah, they're terrible. Did you ever play Miitopia? Not yet. I got it for Christmas, but it hasn't fit into my schedule. Oh, really? That sounds cunt. Yeah, we lost. Well, do you remember, like, back in the day, the commercials? Like, guys, I wanted to date the Burger King. I was like, damn, he's the one. And now they just don't have a mascot anymore. They said, fuck it, we don't give a fuck. Bring those back. I want cool commercials. It was really good. You definitely should like get some food and like sit down and watch it and enjoy your time. The matches are really good. And the crowd, I've never heard a crowd get that loud. Oh. Do you mind? Oh, I gotta pull her. For the lava cronk. Yeah, there's so many people on my channel that want me to continue playing Tomodachi Life, but it's just not. Like, what else am I supposed to do? You know? And then what? I'm supposed to be miserable while I play it? Like, that's not the point of streaming. Like, you're supposed to have fun. Oh. Clearly, I'm not understanding the assignment here. Oh, wow. There we go. Oh, that's cute. Nice reference to Donkey Kong. Okay, I die. Whatever. Whopper song. I have never. Where is that from? It's just a TikTok noise? Oops, excuse me. Everything's like really clean. I'm interested to see how the, like, how hard the game will get. Like, how challenging it'll get. Where's the difficulty increase? I never had a Whopper. I would love to try one. I don't know what I would get on a Whopper though. Okay, but actually the delivery fees in my area are kind of insane. Like, I was just like looking super casually at like if I could order food tonight, which I probably will because I have no self-control and because I'm too fucking lazy. I also have no food in my apartment. But anyways, that's besides the point. The delivery fees for every single place, like at a normal hour, like I understand maybe the delivery fees are a little pricier at like the depths of the night, like 11 o'clock at night, but it was literally like 7 o'clock and the delivery fees are like $13 from every place in the area. I was like, why? Like, it's a normal, it's not even that bad outside. I was like, $13 for what? Like an extra 5 minutes up the road? That you posted a tweet but you didn't. Hopefully, because I'm not posting anything. I just don't. I'm like, girl. Maybe my sister's out. I don't know. I would eat the fuck out of Burger King right now. Hold on. Keys to success. What is this? I want to explore the world map. This gives me Yoshi Woolly World vibes. Sorry, I have no caffeine in me. When I mean I don't have anything in my apartment, I have nothing. Nothing. I'm struggling. I'm not struggling, I just am too lazy to spend money. I have that buyer's guild, you know? But what is this? Well, this is gorgeous. I don't think I'm supposed to be there though, so I'm gonna leave. Let me leave. This is how you farm. I need 20 of those things. Oh, we gotta start collecting. I'm not getting shit. I got 2. Uh-oh. Listen, I'm a casual player. Like, come on. I'm not gonna go up and down, side to side to get everything. Girl, please. I want to play that new Ratchet & Clank game so bad, but it's only on PS5. I think that's so annoying. Anybody else agree? Great. Glad we can all agree. Honestly, oh, I'm gonna go there. Oh, I'm gonna go there. I think having exclusive games to exclusive consoles, this even includes Nintendo, grow the fuck up. Like, literally, who cares? I think that's so annoying and such a dumb concept. Like, I get it, you want to buy shit, but be real. Like, you're trying to sell your consoles. Like, okay. What a cheap tactic to get people to buy your consoles. I feel like if your games are just good enough, people will buy the console anyway. You don't need to be like, Oh, this game is exclusive here, so you have to get the console. Oh, please. I disagree. I think a lot of people would still buy the Switch, considering how many people are buying the PlayStation, the whatever thing, the Steam Deck. And also Nintendo has crazy fans. It's okay, I'm right. Women are always right. I don't know why you are, as a man, trying to argue with me. Duh. How do I get up there? Hi, Artie. Oh, I had to break something. Well, I got it. There's a key. Oh, we have to get 5 keys. Oh. Boo-boo keys. Oh, I was like, why are you saying hi? But I got it. I was like, huh? I said hi to you when you walked in. Somebody wants attention. Honestly, I could see that, honestly. Get the lawyers on the line. Am I supposed to do this? Yeah, apparently Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation aren't gonna be at E3. So what's the point? I'm glad I didn't buy tickets to go. I did apply to go. That is so embarrassing. I applied to go and then I talked shit on them. That's awkward. Anyways, moving on. I mean, it's not really their fault. Shut! I said the same shit. I was like, not the blue lip, GG. That's when I was like, oh, it's a wrap. She's not winning. No blue lip. Should win a title. I say that and I think Naomi wore a blue lip when she won her title. Honestly, yeah. That's kind of funny though that they tried doing the PSP and it flopped, and then Switch just did it better and it sold millions. I'd be so embarrassed if I was PlayStation. I think the culprit of the exclusives though is PlayStation, honestly. Like, they are so aggravating with their exclusives. Like, I'm gonna have to buy a PS5 for Silent Hill. PSP and Vita, yeah. That's such a nice touch when you move around as this skin. It's the sound effects of like a robot. That's so cute. That reminds me, I gotta cancel my subscription for Minecraft because I just bought the the plus to play Minecraft, and then I stopped playing Minecraft. I want to play modded Minecraft. Like, I want to play like Twilight Forest. It's just a little guy. I do little hands. I do the little typing on the computer. I don't think I got must. Oh.
This is a knitted night. Oh, don't tell me you've never heard about the knitted knights of the Imagisphere. The sworn protectors of Craftworld? Well, it's a knitted knight's duty to defend this world from threats like Vex, a vile creature born of nightmares and dread, with the power of the uproar at his command, corrupting everything it touches. Craftworld needs a new protector, a sack person of true potential, someone like you. Well, not just you. See, the Imagisphere is a vast place. There are countless other craft worlds out there, even countless knitted knights in waiting. And you have the power to call on their help if you want it. Think of them as friends who look just like you.
Is Cora Jade
all
okay?
What really matters is that you stop Vex. He can't be allowed to collect all the things he needs to finish his topsy-turver. And it starts by facing him at the top of this very mountain. So you better get going.
If she got released, one of my last straws, I will be honest. She posted something that was like, here, I have the picture. I actually posted it on Twitter. You can go to my Twitter to find it. Yeah, but they love her at NXT. It's not like they don't. Sometimes the universe tests you in the most when you're close to a new chapter. She posted that and deleted it. Hi, Hype Boy. Like, I know we said that, like, they loved Mandy on NXT, but, like, Shawn Michaels and Triple H literally said Cora Jade is, like, the next, like, big thing. Wait, Cora and Braun are dating? Braun Breaker? Oh, don't even pull that. You literally forget everything I say to you. Don't even. Oh, that's cute. Wait, does this have boobs? Look at its boobs. I'll play banana. Oh, did they? What did the video package have in it? Ow. Yeah, that kind of annoys me that she wasn't. I see it for Zoe. I don't see what they see in Indy. And I love Indy, but like, she's been so botchy lately. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Indy's a bi legend. Somebody help me. You guys, I'm scared. What just happened? Oh. I didn't think that was the end of the level. Oh. Not the frowny. Be nice. I need a coffee. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Oh no, John, our snap streak. I don't. I'm not sure. But they're canceled. Wait, no, stop. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think I said this last stream too. My jaw is in so much pain lately. I have literally no idea why. Like, so much pain. I'm like, what is going on? Like, not that like it's painful to talk or do anything, but like if I were to like eat food on the right side of my jaw, I will be in pain. Because I'll yawn and then my jaw will like crack. I'm like, my God, stop. Hi, basketball. Does this autosave? I would assume so.
You'll need more dreamer orbs before you can get past this uproar barrier.
Let me get a little snacky snack. Hello? I'm stuck. Okay. We good. Oh my god. And I can't, like, my energy is so not with me right now. I just have, like, no energy lately. Like, why? What's happening? The cold, probably. Quite literally. The winter depression, seasonal depression, probably that. Ugh. I can't, I don't, nobody understands the Massachusetts winter until you experience it. It is literally, like, you thought you're depressed now, try going through a Massachusetts winter. And I'm not even trying to be dramatic, but, like, it's horrendous. It's horrible. Thank you, Key. Literally below freezing, you can't do anything. The winds are so aggressive. Everything is closed at like 8 p.m. Got me still being signed into Marshall's Uber Eats. So real. I just want to order food and play Genshin. That's like the vibe for me right now. We have what? 2 days until Yelan and Utah rerun? Yeah, I think I'll finish World 1 in this, and then I'm gonna swap over to Genshin for the rest of the night. Probably play it till the ass crack of the night. Order food and be a hermit for you guys. A disgusting beast on camera. Switch into a hoodie and be cozy. I'm excited that my sleep schedule is getting fucked up again. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. My sleep schedule, like, my body can't operate if I'm on a normal sleep schedule. So I think that's probably part of the reason why I've been so unproductive. Like, my body thrives during the night, and it's just not used to being up at normal hours. What was that? Okay. And that's when we turn, they do not have a creator friendly mode. How did Bruno Mars get booked for this gig? Coco ate that lip sync up though, we can't even deny. Playing this with no music. Okay, so if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this replay, if you're watching it on stream, like a VOD, the next, it's probably gonna get muted in the next couple minutes. Should we just play without the volume and avoid that? It's so empty without the music. I could, but I'm lazy. Hot yeah. The Kids Bop version. Hot yeah. I do the Coco Montrese taking off my gown and the shimmy in her gown. Remember when Shangela did a cover of this song and called it Uptown Fish? Girl. Let me hear you guys sing. So you're saying you wouldn't go on the dance floor and dance to me with this song? Wow, fucked up. Well, that was cute. Oh, he's plucked. Look at, he said I don't like that. Not this is the go get drinks song, please. That's so real though. This is where you go out to the smoking area. Why? Girl, be serious. Not Uptown Funk. What's supposed to be right here? Let's do the Pride outfit. Uptown Fresh. We could do a remix. The OG ain't it. Where's the gay outfit? I want to play the gay one. Uptown Fruit. Have you heard? Okay, I wanna, fuck. I really wanted to order this boba tea, but it's probably closed.
Oh, the cloth, the unusually large head. You must be a sackling. So rare to see one out in the wild. The name's Gerald Strudelgar. G'day, Craft World's top wildlife expert. The influence of the uproar is having all sorts of animalorious effects on the local fauna, like these poor scootles. Maybe you can try herding as many as you can.
Hold on a second. He keeps signing me into Marshall's account on Uber Eats. Hello? That is not what we're doing. Stop.
Back into their pens. They'll thank you for it, you'll see. Go on, get as many of those scootles safely into their pens as you can.
Oh, this song! I love this song. Everybody. Love this song. Isn't this song in White Chicks? I think that's why I love it so much. Oh my god. Hello? What? Okay, now I fucked up everything. Oh, this is mess. So, Marshall's account on Uber Eats has my phone number, and my account has Marshall's phone number. Oh, I've done it. I've done it now. Oh, I've done it now. What's the code? Tell me the code! Okay, well, so when I was in Texas, why couldn't you just do it in the chat room? It's not that serious. Okay, so when I was in Texas, okay, it's fucked up. let me tell the story. When I was in Texas, I had to call Marshall because my Uber vouchers from 2K weren't working, and it was, the vouchers were working fine, but it was for whatever reason, Uber was like, you haven't confirmed your phone number with our account system. And then I typed in my phone number to do a verification, and they were like, this phone number is already bound to an account. And I was like, shit, well, that account is not where the Uber vouchers are applied, because I already applied the Uber vouchers to a different account. So it was just messy, and I was trying to use Marshall's number to replace the original number on that account. So now the phone numbers on each account are messed up because of that night. So we're gonna have to fix it, but it was literally because the Uber's whatever is stupid as fuck. And now I have Uber One on one of these accounts, like, to get less delivery fees, and I have no fucking idea what account it is, nor can I get into it because it keeps signing me into Marshy's account when I do my phone number. Watch, it's gonna sign me into Marshy's. Yeah, it signed me into Marshall's. Well, honestly, it's free anyways. I'm just gonna put it on this account. The Uber one. You just join free for 3 months and then cancel it. Not Face ID not working because I'm in drag. Okay. What is Uber Eats? Horrible. An addiction. Can you add a profile picture? Oh, you can add a profile picture. Marshy, take a selfie and make your profile picture something on Uber Eats. Okay, well, let me make sure I cancel that Uber one. I know we just started it, but hold on. Manage membership. Girl, please. It renews on May 5th. Honestly, that's not a bad deal. I don't know what they're doing and how they're doing it. What was that? Oh my god. Where did that burp just come from? What? That was so... not obligatory food ordering segment. Well. Am I ugly? I applaud the burp. I actually have no idea where that came from. That was scary. Guys, did you hear that? I'm scared. I hope some fees will apply here. Like, what? I just don't understand. Like, if you pay for Uber One is supposed to help you save money. I go to the delivery checkout, delivery fees are still there, taxes and other fees are still there. Nothing was taken off of the price. Like, what is that? Also, did you guys know it's like $200 to get a passport? That kind of annoyed me the other day. I was like, excuse me. Okay, I need to... There was a subscription service that I remember I needed to cancel because I remember somebody mentioned it. I'm like, what was it? I need to cancel Crunchyroll and Funimation. I need to decide. What the fuck was it? I remember there was a specific membership that I'm part of that I wanted to cancel before it goes through. Yeah, I definitely want to cancel that. No, there's no reason for me to. I watch it all the time, so. Let me look at my bank and see if something went through and that's what I want to cancel. Also, only spending $100 at the WWE Superstore to get everything that I got was kind of gaggy. I got a hat, 2 t-shirts, a necklace, an autograph book, and both of my pictures printed out, which were like $5 each for Charlotte and Liv. That's pretty gaggy. Nintendo, but that's like $3. It doesn't even matter. Am I still subscribed to Paramount? I'll check after stream. I'm making a list. Well, I had to pay to meet them. It was like $90 a ticket, which I don't mind. To meet like some of my idols, I'm down. Not Mandy tweeting out, so proud of my girls. I'm gonna cry. Thank you. I edited it in like 3 hours, so I'm glad it's cute. It could be better, but
You need to round up those scootles. A good naturalist always sets things right. Or get someone else to do it.
wait, do I have to bring them back here? Oh! Oh! That was horrendous. Oh, I had to bring them back over. Oh! Oh, in here. Oh, and then it says the... Okay, I see. Okay, he respawned, guys. He's alive. He's fine. Can you go? Thanks. Did you roll on... Did any Genshin fans, did anybody roll on Alhaitham's banner? I saw a post that was comparing him to Kaching, and like, she is so much better. Yeah, he's a man. I think the only man I liked was Ito, and that was because his fingers and toenails were painted, and I was like, okay, fruitcake, love you. That was literally what made me buy Ito, is that his nails and toenails were painted. I was like, wow, I'm spending money. That's what Genshin has to do. That's the bare minimum. That's what they need to do to sell me a character. That's it. Yeah, I see why. Like, they're really good quality, John, and I really want to get some replica titles, but I cannot, like, I need a sale to happen. Like, I more than anything want to. I want to get the Divas one. And I have the, like, I have them. Like, I have the fake ones, the doll ones, but they're definitely not as good. Can you please? Like, I'm not even pressing, like, I need a new controller. Like, these are like good quality for like 30 bucks. I got a package deal. Like, they're like okay as like a prop, but like if you're going to an event, like it's, you can tell they're like smaller, they're kids' toys, like they're cute. These are cute to like hang up and like just have, like they're really cute. Like, if you don't want to spend money, I would suggest buying these because they're like really cute to just have around the house. Like, something to hang up, like super cute. This one's really good. I like the NXT one the best. This is like serve, like really pretty. If I'm gonna get anyone that's gonna be really expensive, it's probably gonna be the Divas title. But then I can't use it for any WWE promotion because they want to bury that title into the ground. Thank you so much. I am the champ. The champ is here. Oh, hey, little guys. You're so funny. You're so funny. Give me one more. Let me press order on this meal so I can, like, let me just get back to center. Thanks for your order, Marshall. That's me, I'm Marshall. I'm Marshall, hey guys. Oh, look at you, silly. Do you guys like podcasts? Do you fuck up a podcast? Oh, so sorry. Look at them all run. Let's go, little guys. I eat them. Oh, you eat a podcast for din-dins? That's interesting, isn't it? What do you stream your podcasts on? Spotify, Apple Music, what's the tea? Get in there, silly gooses. Oh, okay. Is this a survey? I have a friend that is doing something and she needs help. That's interesting. And what do you do if that podcast is like, oh, you have to subscribe to our Patreon to watch more? Do you subscribe to the Patreon? Do you do that? Do you support the dolls? Or are you a fake fan?
I'm a truly tremendous feat of shepherding prowess. I will make a note of it in my book.
So what if, hear me out. The video starts with visuals and then it goes, you need to subscribe to Patreon in like 10 to 20 minutes in. Then you just listen to the rest. They give you like a teaser. I know a lot of people that do that. I know a lot of podcasts that do that. No, I know all the mom podcasts do that. Because they have like their own network now. They have the mom thing. What is this a reference to? Like, what is that? Okay, riddle me this though. What if the podcast said we don't like gay people and they said no gay people allowed to listen? What would you do? What would you do? Teasing. JK. I said JK Kimura. Okay, wow. Guys, please. It was just a bit. Real. We need to bring back 4Kids TV. 4Kids TV had so many good TV shows. Missing that. That was where the Kirby show thrived. Do we get to ride on a train? I want to ride on a train. I want to go off for a ride.
Good job, Sackboy. You're...
Oh. Oh, we have the music still on. I was like, do we need to turn the music back up? Turn the music off!
All that stands between you and Vex is this very safe and absolutely not dangerous at all train ride.
Do you believe in trains rights?
No pressure or anything, but the fate of Craftworld is in your hands.
You want to know something sad? Just kidding, I'm not telling you. Sorry. Well, this is fun. Until I fall off. Oh, okay. Train! Hi, Sauce. I pick up the bubbles. Bubbles! Finding Nemo reference, anybody? Anybody like that movie? Bubbles! Did you know that Finding Nemo is in Australia? Did you know that? P. Sherman, Wallaby Way, Sydney. Australian. Finding Nemo is Australian. Did you know that? Marshall is in that movie. So is Bev. Yep, it's true. Yeah, I don't. Sorry. I'll never bring up Australian men again. They don't deserve it. Finding Nemo. I'll just leave. Okay. All right, dramatics. Somebody's needy. What movie are you in? The Leprechaun. Sorry. I used to get bullied and put into that movie. Everybody like, you have red hair, you're in the Leprechaun. What? It's true. Aren't leprechauns Irish? Tell me I'm wrong. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. What are you guys getting me? My birthday's coming up. What are you gonna get me? Valentine's Day is coming up. What are you guys gonna get me? Okay, wait. This is a joke. This is a joke. This is a joke. Stop! Stop! I'm not ready! Stop! Stop this! Okay, I'm fine. Honestly, you know what I want for Valentine's Day? I said I want Dunkin' Donuts, which I could fuck up some Dunkin' Donuts for Valentine's Day, but I would love a box of soft cookies, chocolate chip cookies. Ooh. Ooh. Oh yeah. That's it. That's it. That's the one. Not a Viola cosplay, you're sick. I guess the Bayonetta stands love me. I'm on their Reddit. Like, that's where I was like shocked that I didn't realize that I had so much reach there, which is fierce, but I didn't know. That just makes me want to do a Bayonetta cosplay for PAX even more. How much are the cookies? I get a discount at this local place, so I'm not sure how much a box of them would be, but like, I don't know, probably like 10 bucks or something. Not expensive at all. Am I supposed to jump? What's happening? Oh, wow. Get these cookies, get these cookies. Hopefully it'll be warm that day. Because if it's cold, ooh. I'll have to ask my mom. I'll be like, Mom, I'm the only person in this house that's single. Can you please bring me to Dunkin' Donuts? Will you please get me so I can go get some cookies? She'll probably say yes, because she feels bad. We almost got all of those. I know where the last one is, but I was overwhelmed. Honestly, any type of soft cookie, I'm like down. Except for, I honestly, I like sugar cookies when I'm high, but that's like it. Oh my god, I have to backtrack now. This is what I don't like about Little Big Planet. Like, games, they make you like, get everything. I'm like, girl, like this one I got no things in, and I don't want to do that. Oh my god, I don't want to go back in these levels. Wait, what the hell? I literally got like none of these coins. Did you guys know I worked at a Dave & Buster's? That was horrendous. What would you guys name a wrestling podcast? That like, if like hypothetically a drag queen hosted, like what would you name it? Like hypothetically speaking. My friend's a drag queen and she wants to do a podcast, but she doesn't know what to name it. That would be good, Key, but in the wrestling company that rivals WWE, that's what they used to call. That's what I said, Sauce. But I don't think it's gonna stick. Okay, that's a start. I like that. I like the pun with like dragged.
Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
I like that. Do you think somebody's had sex to this song? Bruno Mars definitely has. He goes, don't believe me, just watch. There's a secret. I see you. I just feel like this song was so unnecessary. Anybody else with me? I feel like there were so many other good songs. I don't want to take my boobies out. Yeah, me either. That's why I was so shocked that I was like, Uptown, like, they should have done like a city scheme level if they're gonna do like Uptown, you know what I mean? Like, this gives me like very tropical. I'm like, why? Okay, whatever. Just my open onion. Uptown free. I don't even know what I just said. Okay, not to be rude, but if you're hot, you like wrestling, and you're gay, and you say anything nice to me, I'm gonna fall in love with you. Just saying. This like really, I guess like this really hot guy that Fisher knows was like at Royal Rumble. I was like, Well, damn. Boys like boys just like you. Did you guys see the vlog of that guy that was like touching me? I was like, you could see me eye roll. It was bad. I have to get a timestamp. It was bad. I had to edit around it because he kept putting his hands on me. I was like, girl, back it up. I had no, like, I literally, what? I'm supposed to just sit there and take it? Like, please. I can't. Mm-hmm. It was bad. Alexander, thank you for the follow. I had to like, well, I wanted to include it because obviously it was when Edge returned. I was like, obviously I'm gonna include my reaction to Edge. I just think people like don't, like, people just get like way too comfortable with like random people. Like, I'm not that girl. Like, I get comfortable with people, like I can mingle, but I'm not like on top of, like, I'm not putting my hands on somebody, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not how that's just not my tea. Right. Yeah, it's boundaries down. Okay, I just want to put this sweater on at this point. I know, the botch was bad, girl. So bad. You should have seen our faces in the stadium. We were like, is this supposed to be happening right now? Like, what's happening? It was bad. It was bad. I just think they should have rolled with it. Like, I keep talking to, like, everybody that has seen the Rumble about it. I'm like, they should have just done, like, okay, we messed it up. We shouldn't announce her as 30. Then we should have Beth come out at 30. Because Beth and Maurice and Lita were in the stadium. But they didn't do it for some reason. Like, especially because, like, Naya, like, isn't apparently affiliated with the company right now. Do we know intel on that? Like, what's the tea? I saw that, yeah. Oh. Yeah, but I think like I think I told you this, Marshall. I think like everybody's saying like the merch design, like that being the selling point of her returning. Like they do merch designs for everybody, right? Like they did it for Kelly and Michelle when she returned, when they did Rumble. I think the render update is something to look at though, like the render update, and then like I think that's viable to be like, okay, maybe she is returning. Or maybe she isn't. I hope they have something planned for either Mania they're saving with her or after Mania. Like a deal for after Mania. I will say the SmackDown girls need her. They need a good heel. And she could put over a lot of stars. Like, she could put over, like, Shotzi. She could put over, like, a lot of people. Because everybody hates her. And then if you were to, like, put her in the ring with somebody, like... Hi, Miasma. Streamer. I know, same sauce. I'm interested to see who's gonna be in there. Somebody said that Aaliyah was confirmed, and then she tweeted out that she didn't get scanned, which I thought was interesting. But like, it's confirmed that she's gonna be in the game. I'm like, where did you get that? Like, what is happening? Yes, Key, I literally logged in to get my 5 wishes from the login event, and the login event ended, and I was like, okay, well, fuck my life. But I got the Lisa skin. I'm gonna play Genshin in a bit. I'm probably gonna switch into extra comfy PJs when we finish this world. Get my jammies on. You think so? I have no idea. If you're gonna watch anybody, please watch my new found friend from the event, Phoenix Nitro. Lots of info and news, but I did not get the intel. Not Ailey York, please. Yeah, he's a sweetie. Sad we didn't get to meet. We were in the same, like, I feel like, guys, I have natural bitch face, so everybody's afraid to talk to me. But I'm a nice girl. Like, everybody is so scared to talk to me. They're like, oh my God, I saw you at the event and you looked gorgeous, but I didn't say hi. And I'm like, you should have. But I get how I look intimidating. Like, I'm wearing heels, I'm tall, I'm large. Like, I'm probably intimidating. I just can't, for myself and my own safety, I can't introduce myself to people unless they come up to me. You know what I mean? I'm quite literally a very tall trans person in a wig. And lots of makeup at 10 in the morning. Real! My butt was butting. My booty was bootying. I should have got a video of my butt. My butt looked so good in those pants. Well, I did actually at the club. You saw the club outfit. My butt was butting. Did you see in the Liv Morgan part 2? My butt was butting. My body is kind of great sometimes. Not my stummy, but... I love my thighs and ass. Can I please break these boxes, please? Oh my God. There's something over here. I missed a lot of the orbs. I just feel like if you're nice to me, I can be extremely, like, extroverted. Like, I obviously, like, what am I gonna do at a press event with all these, like, I was, like, the only, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, at the 2K press event, like, not that it's, like, anybody's fault, it's just, like, the nature of the beast with wrestling fans, like, there was probably only, like, I want to say like 4 or 5 women in the whole entire press event, and the entire crowd of it was just men. Like it was like pretty intimidating, but I could definitely say for a fact I was definitely the only trans person there. 100%. I was like, oh, like this is oh. Work. 2023 is the year. We won. We be eaten. We eat here. Oh, this is a secret area to the next. Oh, I see. I see.
Whoa.
I need one. Let me go back. Not doing the Uptown Funk level. Let's not. And say we did. It's crazy that it's already February. Like, I feel like I take like intermissions with making content for my own sanity, and I'm like, oh my god, it's already like, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Oh, we got that one. We're good. I would like this year to be the year that I start training to wrestle. I would really love that. Like a lot, actually. But I don't think it's likely. I gotta go to like Australia or something. It's just like there's no, like it's hard to find a queer wrestling league that's like accepting. Like I want to start training, I want to do the thing, I want to do it up, but like if I go to any other random place, they're gonna be like, oh, you are, and on your ID it says you're a man, so we're gonna put you with the men to wrestle. And I'm like, that's not. Can I please go? There's a place in Boston, but they're not accepting. Well, excuse me. They're like too booked and busy. I emailed them like twice in the last like 6 months, and they just don't give a shit. Okay. Wait, the thing is in its mouth. Give me it. The fuck is your issue? Give me it, you bitch. Fuck you. I guess. Well, Nyla did a lot of indies, and Nyla made a name for herself in the indies. Aw, man. That's my man. Just kidding. Seth Rollins is my man now after the event. He was such a sweetie. Thank you. I know, and like, did you watch the part where he was like, people used to make fun of me for like how I would dress in like in the ring, like his new style journey? And I was like, he definitely meant, like, he said that like to like be sweet to me, which is cute. Hello, house music. 25 months. That's interesting. It's not 40 months. Maybe you do better. Just kidding. Love you so much. Thank you for resubscribing. Oof. Skill issue. Real. Oh, wait. Stop. Is there a secret over here? There's no secret. Okay. We're good. Wait. Okay. We just need one anyway, and we got the one, so. Back to one. Do you guys like to eat bananas? And I'm not talking about the inappropriate thing. Do you like bananas? Like the fruit? Do you like a good banana? Oh, okay, wow. Do better, emote. So true. Thank you, house music. I did my makeup in 20 minutes. I feel ugly, but it's fine. Can you? I don't care. Please hurry up. I'm holding the skip button. Do you know what I'm thinking about? Do you remember when in the first episode of season 3, when they did the episode of, speaking of season 3 of Drag Race, that they've removed from every social media website everywhere, by the way, safety BB. When Delta comes out with her runway for the first episode and she goes, RuPaul gets so excited. RuPaul goes, oh, Delta Work is giving us a Kwanzaa celebration. She gets so excited. RuPaul literally loses her shit. It's so funny. I love it. She is giving us a Kwanzaa celebration. I'm like, oh my God. Please. When RuPaul had personality, yeah. Well, I liked in the recent lip sync of Drag Race when RuPaul goes, oh! I love season 3. I'm watching Project Runway right now. I just rewatched a couple seasons of Drag Race, but now I'm like on Project Runway. Season 10 of Project Runway is so good with all the drama and the... Did you guys know that, like, okay, watch season 10 of Project Runway if you're gonna watch any season, because a lot of the stuff that you see on Drag Race, like all of Jan and Rosé's runways were made by this designer on season 10 of Project Runway. All of Sugar Cane's outfits were made by this guy on Project Runway. He made another designer on season 7, Mundo Guerrera. Christopher Palu made all of the New York Girl stuff, but Mundo Guerrera made all of Diabetti and Crystal Method's outfits. Then Michael Costello is obviously like a star, but he made a lot of, he was on Project Runway. Not Brad Mondo, Mundo Guerrera.
He's trying to be a hero. You're a brave little sack thing. Yes, you are.
When I just blew myself up. Okay, work. The Sackboy is so cute, so gender.
They just don't make mountains like they used to. This place is
Okay.
falling apart.
But yeah, they fight. Like there was also a designer on season 10 of Project Runway that's really hot on TikTok right now. It sucks that Project Runway doesn't like hit like it used to nowadays, because that person that does like the technology stuff would be so cool to have on that show. Not as like a contestant, but like a maybe even like a challenge, someone that can like help them with that. That would be cool. Okay.
I can see it now. Meddling Sackboy buried alive. Next to hold a rage.
I don't think the follow age is right. I think it's just a glitch. Not sure how we make it work, but
Better hurry up, Sackers. I'm almost done here.
is this supposed to be a boss fight?
This is so moving. The brave Sackling, determined to save his dull little friends. Hope you didn't think you'd find them up here. No, they're hard at work on my topsy-turver, far, far away.
Okay.
But go
I'll take your
on,
word for
I'll
it.
let you have a peek. Ah, look at them.
House music.
Beavering away, having the time of their lives.
You're right.
But they're going to need some coolant before they can make it work.
Oh, my Uber
And
Eats driver
nothing
is hot.
cools
Hey.
like crisp mountain air.
Are we gonna fight this guy or what? Like, why do we just keep letting him beat the shit out of us? Do something, girl. Oh, we are.
How do you like my new look? I know it's crude, but I can't resist a nice bomb. It's not a
My
bomb,
resolution,
it's a puppy.
airstrikes. Bomb them, then bomb them again.
Hold on to it for us. Let's change things up.
I don't want to do that. Oh, there's spikes on the floor. That's interesting, isn't it?
Well, that's who knew sack folk could cause so much trouble?
Stop
Not me.
saying sack.
Oops. Hope these don't cause an avalanche.
I wish they would.
No!
We'll get soft locked. Loser.
I'm tired of going this way.
Okay. First try. Oh. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh. 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 Clearly a skill issue right now.
I'm done playing with you.
I'm done playing with you too, bitch. I want to go play Genshin.
Let's see how you handle this. Ah, you think you can hurt me? I invented pain.
You did what now?
Here, have a present.
No, give me another one.
I'll strip this world to the bone, Sackboy, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I love the Shrek 2
No
game.
doubt about it now, Sackboy, my lad.
I'm not
You've
gonna
got
say
the
anything,
right
but we will be
stuffing to
playing
a
Shrek 2 this
mythic knight
year.
one day. This is just the start, though. Who knows what
I
resources
can't say
he's going
for
to
what
steal
or
next.
why, but we will be playing
The
it.
colossal canopy, huh? Famous for its bananas. Good thinking. You better hurry up after
Bananas.
him. Good luck out there. I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Everybody go stream my vlog on YouTube. We're almost at 1,000 views. want to see Puss in Boots. Shrek 2K23. Stop. That's usually what they do in the 2K games, though. They make Shrek so fast. Oh, there's only 5 worlds? Work. That's a nice little... I like that. Short and sweet. Solid. Thank you. I'll take it. Well, we'll come back to this. We did the first world, which is pretty solid. Had a good time. I'm enjoying. That was a cute little start. I'm not ending. Don't get it twisted. Bitch, I just woke up, so... I don't know. I'm like kind of hype. Not that I'm hyper fixating on Genshin, because like it gets pretty stale pretty quick, but I don't know. I just kind of want to like... I was like playing it last night and I was like, oh, I kind of miss these characters. Like... Whatever. But let me go. I'm gonna go switch into the pajama set. So I'll be 2 seconds.
Long since erased from the records of time, there once existed 2 European clans who served as